Yes, you've read the title right. I have just bought myself a 2018 Audi RS3 Dazzler engine for just £4,000. And no, it's never been involved in a crash, but what it has been involved in is probably much, much worse. Looks can be deceiving, but this car's been for a big swim. This Audi RS3 was sat at a dealership ready to be sold when it got severely flooded last year. Now I know that's the case because it still had the for sale sign in the window, so I've taken a massive risk and assumed that the engine has never been run after or before it was actually flooded, so we're hoping it's going to be okay. But as you can see from this interior, it is in a really, really bad way, and the aim of this is to salvage as much as we can from this car because we're going to be putting it in my Skoda Octavia VRS. So although we don't fully know, I'm pretty confident the water was above the dashboard considering all the marks it's got on the top of it. So anywhere from sort of here upwards, the water level was on the interior of this car, which sounds absolutely insane. Now, usually if the water got inside the car like it has here and got anywhere sort of above this mark here, basically where it starts interfering with the car's electronics, it would normally be deemed as a category B write-off and it wouldn't be able to go back on the road again. So obviously the water level on this car was way above the bottom of the door sill and it was above the dashboard. So you're thinking, well, why is this RS3 not a Cat B write-off? Well, it is a Cat B write-off and that is why I got it for so cheap. Now, ASM Autos have kindly dropped the car down to me and allowed me to take the parts off that I want, and then it will go back to them to be crushed and for the rest of the parts to be sold. So just to make this clear, ASM won't do that for everyone, so I am lucky in that respect that they've let me have the car for a couple of weeks to take off what I need, and then they'll come and pick the car back up. So a big thank you to ASM Autos for doing that, because also it makes a bit of a video as well, so I can strip the car in my own time, I can get a proper video out of taking all the parts off. So a massive thanks to ASM for doing that. So what we've really got for our £4,000 is to strip everything, engine, gearbox, driveline, suspension, steering, subframe, wheels, everything like that we're going to take off the car, and it's going to go on my Skoda Octavia VRS. Obviously it's a massive gamble because we don't know if any of these parts are going to be any good. So once we've taken off what we want from this car, the whole front end, wings, doors and stuff like that are still going to be available to buy from ASM. So I'm going to leave the link in my description for them. So if you want any parts, or maybe the parts off the front end of this car, then go click in the links there. They sell parts for all Cat B cars. They also do auctions as well. So yeah, a massive thanks to ASM for allowing this video to happen. And guys, don't forget the Audi R8 V8 manual competition is still live. It ends this Sunday at 8:30 p.m. and it's only 55% tickets at the time of recording this sold. So go click the link in the description, compete for cars. You will be grabbing some really good odds at the moment. And yeah, as I said, 4.2 V8 manual, HPI clear, and it is an absolutely immaculate car now with 12 months MOT. So if you want to be in a chance of winning this car for just £1.99, or you fancy the £25,000 cash alternative, click the link in the description, go grab your tickets guys, and I'll see you at Sunday at 9 p.m. for the live draw. The TT competition has already ended, but we will be doing the live draw for that at the same time, 9 p.m. on Sunday. So we're going to start with the TT, then we'll do the live draw for the Audi R8. So go grab your tickets guys. Also the Defender is still live as well, so go grab your tickets for that. I'll see you Sunday at 9. We're in. Ho, 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 ho. So I mean, it's been around, what, 8 or 9 months since this car was actually flooded, and we can still see the puddle of water that's in here. I mean, I ain't gonna stick my fingers in it, but that's gotta be 2 to 3 inches still tall of water. And yeah, it goes into the back as well. I wonder if we can get, oh, I don't really want to stick my hands in this car from, oh, it's even got the red seat belts, look, so it's a decent spec. Let's just see if I can stick my hands in the back. No, everything's deadlocked. We do have the keys. Oh, bloody hell, the bonnet's been. How am I going to get in the... There we go, old-fashioned way. Moment of truth, how's she looking under the bonnet? Oh, she's definitely got a tan. Engine looks good though. This would be the moment of truth though. Oh, let's take this out. Oh, no water there, looks quite clean. Just put that back on. Oh no. Oh no, look. Oh no. There's a lot. The engine is full of water there, and I'm going to be having a field day in the comments with that. Yeah, engine, not good. Kind of knew that was going to happen, but yeah, the engine is full to the brim with water. But the other thing that's a risk as well, and it's going to be a lot more far-fetched, is stuff like the wiring and electronics in the car. Now, even though it's in the engine bay and most things should be waterproof, they're not they're splash proof. They're not meant to be submerged in water for 6 months. So stuff like the ECU, I mean, how's this really going to look? Like, is the ECU going to be knackered? Is it going to be okay? I mean, we can see, look, it's had loads of water ingress. There's no corrosion or anything. The good thing is that nothing on this car is actually actuated since it has been flooded. So the question is, do we just try and get it running in this car, or do we just assume that it should be okay, take it out and get it in the Skoda? It's a bit of a tricky one. Now, I need to find a way of actually getting into the boot, because if the battery's fully submerged in water still, which it could be, then I don't think that's going to be too great putting power to it, because it's just going to short circuit everything, I assume, which wouldn't be great for the car. I mean, I have disconnected the ECU on the engine now, so it shouldn't affect the engine, but I do still need the steering lock to come off, so I need to find a way of getting into this boot. Yeah, so I can't get in the car, it's deadlocked, it's just, I can't get in it. Without smashing windows, you can't get in it, so bugger it. I've just connected the battery jumper up to it, and I've just got to twist this knob here. It's going to send some power to the car, and hopefully the whole thing doesn't blow up. So, fingers crossed. Oh God. Okay. So I do it again. I just want to get the boot open. So, let me get the keys. Right, do these work? Yes, right, it works. So if I very quickly turn the power on, see if it'll unlock. Go. Right, it's working. Ah, the alarm's not going off now. Still can't. Oh no, still not getting power though. What it is, I can hear it, but it's still not working. I know, let's go for more power. When did that ever not solve anything? Apparently now. Right, I have just made a breakthrough. By unlocking the car and it not actually opening from the outside, I was able to stick my hand back on the inside and it did open from the inside. So, oh, look at the level. Oh. Look how high that is. Now, let's have a look. I've still got the battery on charge. I should probably take it off now, to be honest. It doesn't... Oh, do I just leave it on for a minute? It's not blowing up yet. Right, let's see what's in the boot. Oh, the boot looks relatively clean. I'm sure it's quite damp. Well, it's fairly dry now. I just need to get into the boot. And I don't really want to have to climb into it. Okay, there was some smoke just coming out by whatever that thing is. So I don't know if this is all electrically charged at the minute, all this water. So I have turned it back off and I'm not going anywhere near it until... There you go. See that smoke? What the hell's got... Why is it smoking behind there for? Look. Oh, what is that? What is that? Is it that was smoking? Right, there's no more smoke. Right, I'm gonna go in. It feels dry. Open! Open! Right. We are making progress. Okay, right, the battery's not submerged in water. We have a locking wheel key. We are making good progress. I might change the battery and just put another one on top of it, because I'm sure the battery's knackered. And just for the sake of science, we'll just double confirm that the battery's no good. Yeah, 0.26 of a volt. Hold. There we go, no good. Right, so I've got the battery out now, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but it's still about an inch of water in here, so I am just gonna bang out one of these bungs to try and get all the water. There we go. Lose all the water. Because ideally I don't want to put the new battery in a bed of water, if possible. I'm just going to bang an old battery in here, but it does have 12 volts. Oh. Is the whole car going to blow up? I don't know. Let's see. It sparked. Right, so with the battery now connected up to some sort of power, let's just open this door again. How do you go? Absolutely nothing still works. Nothing at all. Oh no, oh no, we have a radio. We have a screen and it works. Oi, oi. Do the buttons work? Yeah. Oh, let's see what we got then. And where's radio? Cool, look at that, DAB. Let's get a bit of Jazz FM on. Although nothing actually works. So our screen works, now multimedia system seems to work, but absolutely nothing else does. So I don't think this is going to be coming out of the steering lock. I don't think it's going to be coming off this anytime soon, which means I'm going to need some help. Now, some people are going to be saying, why don't I use some dollies? And I do have some, but with the concrete here and the gaps, it just doesn't work. They just get stuck in them, like that one over there especially. It just doesn't work very well. So this is the best option. I can winch it straight onto this. I can then drive and then just let it off into the workshop. It rolls straight, so we should be able to just push it straight back onto the ramp, and job's a good one. And here it is, the Skoda Octavia VRS3 project, which is feeling very sorry for itself. Now, the idea with this is we're going to put a Audi 2.5 cylinder engine into a Skoda Octavia, but it's been messed around a little bit, and the engine I did have for it, I ended up taking back out and putting in the RSQ3 project that we did a month or so ago. And it's been sat here engineless ever since. So when the Cat B RS3 popped up there, it was just an absolute no-brainer. Fate intervened. And yeah, the idea is we're gonna put the Dazza engine in this Skoda Octavia, four-wheel drive convert it, and it's gonna be a one-of-one project. So if you haven't subscribed already, guys, please do subscribe to the channel, and there's gonna be plenty more content with that coming, and hopefully everything, fingers crossed, is good with that engine, and she'll be going in here.
She's in!
So the underside is absolutely no different to a normal car, as you'd expect, because normal cars spend half their life submerged with rainwater underneath it anyway, so yeah, it just looks completely like any other car. So first thing we're going to do is take the under tray off, drain the water and oil from the engine. May do the same with the gearbox as well. And obviously I did say at the beginning of this video, if we can get the engine running in this car. Obviously that's definitely not going to happen now because we put power to the car and absolutely nothing worked. It's completely dead. So that's definitely not going to happen. So our only hope is we're going to take everything off, put it all in the Skoda, and fingers crossed it will work from there, because otherwise everything's been a complete waste of time. But it's a very good gamble we're going to take. So start stripping it. Everything is now coming out. Right, because I want to see how much water is in this sump, I'm going to put it into this clearish bucket here. So I'm just going to hold it. I may regret this, but let's give it a go. The water has started. There's going to be more than... This is a 10 litre drum. This could get messy. I mean, there's just water coming out at the moment. Nice clean water though, at least. Is there going to be more than 10? There's got to be more than 10 litres in there. I'm going to leave it like that for a couple of minutes. It's coming out nicely. So whilst I let the sump drain all the water off, I'm going to remove the front bumper and the headlights. To do that, we need to remove the front wheels and the screws from inside the wheel arch. You can still hear the water coming out the sump, so it's still going. Still dripping, headlights out. See if you can hear the water in here, look. Can you hear that? Oh, there we go, it's coming out, look. I don't know if I said that was a 10-litre drum earlier, but it's definitely not. I actually think this is a 25-litre drum. There's another one there, look, and that's a 20-litre drum next to it. So I'm pretty sure this is actually a 25-litre drum, and it's bang on half full with water. So we're about 12.5 litres so far of water. Haven't taken the sump bang out yet, so I'm gonna now just drain this. Right, next up for now, I'm gonna drain all the coolant from the radiator. And because there's no drain point on these cars, we have to just do it from the lowest coolant pipe, which is this one. I think the cooling system is the only thing that's not been compromised. Now I wonder if there's going to be any water in the intake system. Doesn't sound like it if I... Oh, I don't know actually. Oh no, I stand corrected. There's definitely water in here. Oh God. Another 25, 30 litres? Oh God. I just want it to come out. That'll be the turbo. Right, now we're just going to pull the rest of this lock carrier off and forward. Next up, I'm just going to remove this intercooler because it's easy to do so and it's still full of water. There we go. As good as new. To remove the rest of the lock carrier, we need to remove the 8 bolts holding the crash bar on, which also holds the lock carrier on, and the rest of the electrical connections. There we go, I think it's mostly oil now. So there you go, look, if you want a good way to separate oil and water, just crack off the sump bung a little bit, all the water falls out, and the oil stays in. So the next really important thing I need to know is there any water in the cylinders? Because that could pose a big problem with rust if so. Oh, they're not actually too tight, which is a miracle. Nice. Don't look great, does it? Now, I appreciate the quality isn't great here, but we can get a little bit of a look into each of the cylinders. And number 1 is probably the best one. It looks okay. Cylinder 2, we look down, we can just see a small film of oil on top of the piston, it looks like. Cylinder 3, yep, no good. Absolutely full to the brim with either water oil or both. Cylinder 4, a similar story, again, full to the brim, and that's where my camera gets really dirty because it's now covered in oil and water, and I can't really see in cylinder 5. It doesn't quite look as bad, but it's still not great. And because we're dropping the brake calipers in the system along with a subframe in one, we need to remove the brake pipes and the ABS connections, although the brake pipes were a little rusty. Snappy snap. So the only real thing at the front end now is just those additional coolers. I think I'm going to actually unbolt them from the chassis and just drop them down with the engine and gearbox and the subframe. Now, one of the other good things about obviously dropping everything down as one, it means I don't have to mess around trying to undo the exhaust, which is right in there somewhere. It is connected to the engine and the subframe, so all we need to actually do is just remove it from here at the mid-pipe section, take those clamps off, and then we'll drop the whole exhaust system along with the subframe, steering rack, engine, and everything like that. You have just seen me disconnect the brakes and the wiring and the brake lines from both sides. I've done now, so that is that done. I've only got one bolt holding the suspension top struts on as well, so we just need to undo both of those, and then that will be done. So from down here, the only thing we've got to do actually, I think, is just remove those two exhaust clamps. Everything else, I believe, it will be done. There might be a few sensors in there. I'll have a quick look, but yeah, let's remove those first. Well, that's one of the nicest exhaust clamps I've ever undone. Why did I say that? Oh. Had to speak too soon, didn't I? Why is this one not working? There we go. Right, I did actually forget about the prop shaft, so I've just removed the centre bearing bolts, so it's flapping around now. So when I lower the engine and subframe, I'm going to pull it out from the front because it's actually pushed in at the front now and then bolted at the back. So as we lower it down, it should just ease its way out anyway. I've also just removed the wiring for the steering rack as well, so that's all disconnected. I have just also removed the 4 bolts for the subframe, so that has now been disconnected too, so that is flapping in the wind a bit, look. So now, yeah, we just need to lower it down and yeah, remove the engine and gearbox bolts and the last 2 bolts for the struts as well, and then lower the whole thing down. Oh. It's dropping quite a lot. Oh, it's off. Right, this may or may not work. I've used my like engine gearbox trolley jack there to lift the engine up just so I can get this engine mount off, but it's annoying because you have to then undo the bolts that are on the engine to get it off. These two are fine. I can get to these. It's the one at the back that's going to be the problem. Whether it's going to come undone or not is another question. Oh, it did. Did you hear that click? That was a good click. Oh my God, just come out! Thing! There we go. There we go. Some bits are caught somewhere or other. Not too sure where, but now we're good. Right. Ah, it just doesn't want to come off. I might have to go back up a bit. Right, I think we're free. Right, so finally, engine, gearbox, subframe, suspension, everything out. I couldn't get that bloody prop shaft off this end, off the transfer box. So I ended up having to remove the bolts from the rear and then just sliding the whole prop shaft out. That was the only way I could do it. But it is all off now. And yeah, what a pain in the arse that was. But I am going to leave it there in today's video, guys. In the next one, we're obviously going to continue removing parts off of this, the rear axle, wiring, battery wires, possibly, I don't know yet. But in the next one also, we're going to get it into the Skoda and we're going to get it minimum turning over. If not, maybe a start. Might be a little bit far-fetched, but we're going to get it turning over nonetheless. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I want you to let me know in the comments as well, do you think that this engine will ever run, or am I just wasting my time completely? So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram at @Saving_Salvage. Go buy your tickets for the Audi R8, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.